JP.
Wait there. Yes, Wagwan chat. Welcome back to Redmen TV and welcome to some more shameless ranting because Liverpool are doing nothing. And Jurgen Klopp might be on crack, but that's what we'll talk about throughout the stream. I'm going to say hello to you all first, and then I'm also going to ask if you can smash a like, that'd be grand, and all that juicy stuff. We've got 100 people in the stream, so big up to you all. Sorry I'm late, I was on Ranter stream. But I'm here now, and do you know what, chat? Do you want me to read your comments and say hello, or do you want me to get right into it? Let me shout out some of his wisdom. Hola, Drunk Vigo, big up. Shout out to a man like James Redmond is hot, I know. Big up too. Kingman 7 FSG out, big up. Smoking that John Henry pack. Boo! No smoking from Hamez today, though. You know the score, chat. Right, anyway, get on this. I'll be smoking this football club and I'll be smoking my own tears if we keep fucking going, you know what I mean, mate? Fucking hell. Chat, what am I reading? In an ideal world, this is what Klopp said. In an ideal world, we have 6, 7, 8 defenders. So defenders can also include left backs and right backs. He's not talking about centre backs because that would make no sense. We need to be really lucky with injuries, but we have no doubts about the quality. This is the best part. Kwanzaa is a super talent. So, chat, now what this does is it makes Kwanzaa forced to be a Rolls Royce if he steps up. And I think Kwanzaa's good, so I'm not even shitting on him. But what does it guarantee, chat? 0 centre-backs. 0 centre-backs from this. Jurgen Klopp might be on budge. And I don't know if it's him who... I don't think he's really saying to the club, like, yeah, I want a centre-back. I think he's genuinely fine with it, which is great. And it's fantastic. But Kwanzaa. So we're saying Kwanzaa is good enough. If Konate's not available, can Kwanzaa play above him? Can Kwanzaa be considered above Gomez and Matip? Because that's what I see by a super talent. Because I don't suggest Gomez is a super player right now, and I don't think Matip is. But if you're going to claim that Kwanzaa is a super talent, he's Rolls Royce, then I'm expecting him to do a Saliba and come in the team. Chat WRL. Nah, chat WRL, am I being too far? Kwanzaa, bruv. So, chat, seriously, if you think we're getting a centre-back, don't think about Hincape. Don't think about anyone else. Think about this dude, Kwanzaa. And Kwanzaa's actually decent. I don't want people to think that I'm shitting on Kwanzaa. He might be decent. But just know, this now has to work. So if Konate gets injured or Virgil van Dijk gets injured, he now has to step up. He now has to step up and really get in the team. Do you know how much pressure that is for somebody of that age? For someone who's not established in the first team and somebody who he's been at the club for a while, you know what I mean? How old is Kwanzaa? Is he like in his 20s or is he still in his teens? Because I think that'll be important to assess it, because you've seen players come and go there, you know what I mean? He's 20 years of age as well, 2003 born, still a baby, still young, but still wants a question. Like, why was Billy Cometio above him a couple of years ago? Why is Nat Phillips considered above him if he's so good? Like, you know, what makes him a super talent, or is this just super high praise from the manager? And again, you know, there's many things to take into consideration. The club have always got to rate their young players so that other clubs look at these young players and go, oh yeah, look what the club's saying about them. It's always about increasing value. So I don't expect Klopp to come out and shit on Kwanzaa by any means, but it's interesting to me, unless he was asked specifically about Kwanzaa, if that's the context. But it seems like he's brought him up out of nowhere, which means he's very happy with him, which is okay. But now that means, okay, if we all agree as a Liverpool fan base, Gomez and Matip don't quite live up to that standard as a centre-back no more, well, that means in turn, this guy has got to be number 3 if Nat Phillips goes. So that's a scary prospect, and I want to know what you all think about it. But 200 people in the chat, do smash a like and keep me up to date on the Chelsea game, chat, because I'm not watching it at the moment. I'm going to start doing watch-alongs to other games, though. We're about to do busy weekends of streaming and watch-alongs, so that'll be interesting. But I'm going to need you there. If you're not there, it's going to be hard. By the end of September, he'll be saying, I'm sorry, we need a centre-back. It's his fault. Now, let's not go too far. It could be his fault as well. It's not just his fault, but it could be his fault as well. It's interesting to mention Kwanzaa when you're asked about a centre-back. That's interesting to me, and I'm a little bit concerned by that, you know what I'm saying? Is it 1-0 to Chelsea? I heard that they were playing better than Luton. Who scored? Who scored for them? Let me know who the scorer was. And if they do update the score throughout the game, then do let me know, because that's obviously an interesting clash of heads there, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't start him abusing. I wouldn't start abasing. Wait there, what does that say? Abassing? I don't know what that word is. Newcastle, but every younger has to play if they want to get into the team. Same way Trent had to. Okay, fine. Okay, he can play. But is he good enough to play? You know what I'm saying? Is he good enough to play? Jeez. Sterling's actually been cooking recently. He played well in the last game against West Ham, in my opinion. And if he scored today, then fair play. That'll give him the world of confidence. Chat, do you think Sterling can come back and do well? Or do you think Sterling's finished? Because I thought he was finished for a second. I thought he was so bad last season. And because of the Chelsea team, but now I think he's kind of he's thinking to himself, I need to be the guy. I need to carry this team out of turmoil. You know what I'm saying? The dinosaur scored. The dinosaur, the T-Rex. You know what I mean? I don't think anymore, James. I just gave up a couple of weeks ago. See, I'd love to do the same thing, but I care about the club too much. I'm not saying you don't, Paniscos, but I hear what you're saying. If you're going to be kept out the loop so much, then what's the point in caring too much? You know what I mean? I agree with that mentality, and I do think it's a mentality that I share. It's a tough one. And just in case for those who are just tuning into the stream, I will remind you of the quote that I had on the start. Jurgen Klopp mentions about centre-backs. He was asked about a defender, and everyone speculates, are we going to get a defender? He says, in an ideal world, 6, 7, 8 defenders, so that also includes fullbacks. And he says, we need to be really lucky with injuries, but we have no doubts about the quality. And then he mentions Kwanzaa as the solution. I don't like the fact that he's even referencing injuries. You've got an injury-prone team, or you've had bad luck with injuries. Accommodate it with depth and quantity, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand why we've got to have this constant thing of but to keep a squad happy, it's got to be small. That's bullshit. We got to all 4 competitions in the last time. If you want to compete, be good enough to compete in all 4 competitions. And then if the players who are complaining want to leave because of game time, sell them and get new ones. It's really not a hard thing, but you've got to be constantly refreshing teams. And I'm not saying have a squad there of 30 people. I'm not saying that. But if the players in the academy are not Premier League quality, we can't do what City do. City can go into a season with 23 Premier League players or 24 Premier League players, because both of their, the starting 11 and the bench are going to be just as good as each other pretty much. And then when you consider they've got the best academy in the country, they've got numerous Premier League level players in their academy. Think about James Trafford, who's playing for Burnley. Think about the guy who was linked with West Ham. I think he ended up joining Ajax. They've got top European prospects in their academy. Romeo Lavia was there literally a year ago, and we were linked with him for 60 mil. They've got an insane academy, so they can afford to go into a season with that. Our academy doesn't live up to that level. We've got a good academy, but it doesn't live up to that level. We don't sell players for 25, 30 mil from the academy. We've done it before, but we don't do it regularly. So that's the problem. So, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned. I'm not going to lie. Gravenberch and Kane, you mean Kone? Oh, sorry, that does say Kone. Are going to happen. I hope so. To be fair, there was actually some really good reports on those 2 things today. It does not mean that it's going to happen, because I've seen this guy say things before. It's Christian Falk. He said things before regarding these players. But it doesn't always come true, but it does probably mean that there's some legit interest there. You know what I'm saying? If I do just pull that up for you real quickly. There we go. So Gravenberch wants to leave Bayern Munich. He's open to joining the Premier League and would join the club offering him the most game time. In my opinion, Liverpool are in front. So I think he's going based off the premise that he wants to go to a team that would offer more game time. That's what he's thinking. So yeah, that's Christian Falk. He's coming out and saying that he thinks that's got legs, and that because if you don't know the situation, Thomas Tuchel doesn't want to keep Gravenberch. There's people in the club who do. They see a benefit in keeping him for the long term, which I agree with, but it doesn't seem like that's going to it's not going to be what happens. He doesn't want to stay. The manager doesn't want him. What's the fucking point? So I think it's either him or Kone. And also, interesting thing about Kone, chat, he plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Chat, am I correct in saying that the sporting director is Schmatka's son? Am I right in saying that? One of you told me that the other day. And if I am correct, then that should really help us get the deal over the line, no? Unless we're just not willing to go and buy that player. Klopp knows exactly what he needs to do, but FSG are strangling him, leaving him with no other option to protect the player's esteem. And that is the sad truth. That is a sad truth. That's a very, very sad truth for sure. But you know, at the same time, some fans probably have a leg to stand on where they're like, well, I wish he weren't. Like, I don't like the fact he's mentioning Kwanzaa as a solution, and Kwanzaa might be. And I understand someone would say to me, well, James, how did he get a chance? The cream will always rise to the top. They'll always rise to the top. That's why when Kyle Walker was injured, Rico Lewis was good enough to step in. When Klein got injured, Trent was good enough to step in for us. But we saw when Bajcetic stepped in at number 6, he's not quite ready yet. We won 1 game out of 5 games that he played CDM. He was better than a number 8, and now people are saying play Bajcetic CDM. He's your backup CDM. But we've got very little case studies to know if that works or not. Same with Kwanzaa. He's had 1 pre-season, and he hasn't got to the squad prior to this. I think he's just trying to increase his value. I don't see Kwanzaa as someone who's going to start above Kanate or Joe Gomez in the short term or the long term. Not because he can't, but I haven't saw anything that suggests he's going to be a part of our plan significantly. And just referencing Kwanzaa means you're saying, well, we've got 5 great centre-backs, so I'm happy. Therefore, I don't want no one new. John Henry will put the 100 million for Salah under his bed, Machin, and the Anfield Rap will help him move it all. Nah, use it our last on Paul. You know, I can't speak on the Anfield Rap, but use it our last on Paul. But Paul's just, he's just a different type of fan, you know what I mean? He doesn't get paid by the club or not, and he gets, I understand, like, they do get interviews and whatever have you, so I suppose you could say that's a method of payment, but I don't know, I was there 5 years ago and Klopp loves the channel, you know what I mean? Like, I was at Redmen TV time ago and I remember Klopp reacting to it. So yeah, like, I think, I don't know, I'm not one to shit on Paul like that. That's just me, though. He's my guy. Hamez, read my comments. Klopp signing, what the fuck did you say? Repeat your comments. Wait there, Hamez, Kwanzaa is going out on loan, Hamez. Oh, is he? So why is Klopp mentioning him then? Is he actually? Is that confirmed? Is that like new news or? Because now that quote from Jurgen Klopp has got to be dismissed, surely. And where's he going out on loan to? Is it a big club? Like, is it a club that's interested in him? Because that's what I thought would have happened with him. I thought he probably would have went out on loan. Have a look. Kwanzaa not in the under-21 squad. Okay. This is interesting news. You sure he's going out on loan? Let me share the screen so you can see the searches that I'm going through here, you know what I mean? So, Kwanzaa not in the under-21 squad. Yeah, that was the quote that I just showed you. Kwanzaa is very talented defender, but he only has 16 games of senior football for Bristol Rovers in League One. He should not be an excuse for not signing a defender. This is bang on. That is absolute facts if I've never heard them before. Oh my God, he's done a Kwanzaa quote. I think tomorrow would be perfect. Game to try out. Kwanzaa, thoughts, Reds? What the fuck? No, you're lying. You're lying. What have people said in the comments there? You've got to disagree with that fundamentally. It's not career mode. In it, though. He looks like Kijana Hoover. Nah, that's wrong. That's wrong. Remember Kijana Hoover? He was the next big thing. Do you remember that chat? He was actually quality at one point. He was these webs. So yeah. Yeah, no, it doesn't look like Kwanzaa's going out on loan. I don't see any information there. Big up, my G. Big up to you, honestly, Hortensia. Going on, brother. Hope you're well. Mike Dars. Those quotes only confirm that Klopp has lost all touch with reality. He really is a fault for the mess at FSG. As FSG. I don't know. I think it's still mainly FSG myself. Kone's trending. Kone is trending. Yeah, I don't like that transfer room. Yeah, this is interesting. So Christian Falk came out earlier and said Borussia Mönchengladbach are expecting an offer from Manu Kone. Bear in mind, that's Skamadka's son who works there. So Skamadka's son will be working with him on that one. You know what I'm saying? In other news, we also had this young defender. So he's called Arta Teat. Chat, do you rate this guy? Shit, you can't even see me. You couldn't even see me there. Yeah, this guy here, he's someone who's like, I think he's 18. Is he 18, chat? Liverpool also holds an interest in Rene defender, Arta Teat. Arta Teat, did you hear the way I said that? Who it is, reported could be available for around £30 million this summer, not a bad price. There has been no firm move for the Belgium international yet, one to keep an eye out on. Chat, would you take him? I'd take fucking anyone, but I mean, like, would you take him? You're a goon, Ned. Who's Ned? And why is he a goon? Edrin, he says, LFC room put out 4 days ago via Neil Jones. He said Kwanzaa would go out on loan. Oh, okay then. Well, he hasn't gone out on loan, and Jurgen Klopp's talking about him in a high praise. But he's not in the under-21 squad tonight, which is interesting. You know what I mean? That's definitely something to take into factor. Saw reports. We want a centre mid to adapt. Yeah, I saw that as well. I might even have that saved. I hate the way the comments are so long as well. They're always getting in my face. They're always getting in my face. I wonder if this will look better. A block. That weren't an option before. Does this look better? Chat, do you reckon that's better? Do you reckon I should just use this one? Let me see what it's like if it's a long sentence. That could actually work, that could run. Nah, I don't know, I won't feel dilly-dally about with the friggin' with the editing. Nah, but this guy looks good. 30 million as well. There's loads of centre-backs out there. We've got no excuse. We know we've got the money. And we know we need a centre-back, especially with this Konate news. Konate's only a doubt. He could still play against Newcastle, but I don't know. The thought of Matip and Gomez being the only options is frightening to me. You know what I'm saying? Walk on with Klopp in your heart. Yeah, Klopp's boss, mate. I love Klopp, I do. But sometimes he does still need to, get a bit of shit. You know what I mean? But it's just the people who say he should be out or leave the football club. That's when I think it goes too far. That's when I'm just like, well, if you can provide me a solution, that'd be fucking grand. So that's the classic. That's that. And this is minimal. Nah, let's go with the bubble. I like the bubble more, mate. Bubble butt. Bubble butt. What else did I bookmark? Because I always bookmark stuff for the stream just to let you know what I'm seeing. And again, like Christian Falke's interesting because it means things are happening in those departments. This is what you were talking about. The gentleman before you mentioned this tweet here. Liverpool aren't in for the pure 6. They want a multifunctional midfielder who can play like a 6, but also further forward, which is what, chat? Kone, which is what, chat? Gravenberch, those are the profile. So, and this news has been reported for a couple of days now. Like James Pearce came out and said we're not looking for an out-and-out 6. And then Christian Falk came out and said that we're looking into Gravenberch and Kone who fit that profile. And then now Lynch is coming out and saying it. So there's defo legs to the rumour. It doesn't mean we'll get anyone certainly, but just know we're looking at somebody. I am praying to fuck that we can get Kone. If we can get Kone, that would be amazing. That would be absolutely fantastic. I'd love to get Kone. I think he's my favourite player, but he does have injury problems as well. But then I think that friggin' Gravenberch has got a bit of an attitude problem, so it's contradictory. Hello, James. I'm doing the Kip and Cop, so we'll be sleeping overnight at Anfield for the raising money of the homeless in Liverpool. Was wondering if I could make my donation link on your stream. Send me the details to the event, but and I'll take a little look at it. And then it sounds beautiful, though, man. So I'd love to get involved. Hamez Titis 23. I'd rather sign Thiago Diallo, Portuguese centre back from Lille. He can play as a left back and a right back. Okay, fair dues. Rumour has it Enzo is going to start with Verge at centre-back. That would be ludicrous. But then it shows that Enzo really was coming in to be that utility man, that James Milner-esque player. I know Milner couldn't play centre-back, but that's what he's coming in to do. He's coming in to do that role. For me, I wouldn't mind it, but I don't want that to be the only option, because now if Enzo gets injured, we're fucked. We've got no CDM or no senior CDM. And then if he's the backup centre-back, well, then now we've lost out on a centre-back as well. If they're going to be his 2 positions, but I don't think that'll be true. I don't think he'll play centre-back. Nat Phillips, why is he still here over Kwanzaa? I think he's probably... It's weird because Klopp came out and said in the press conference last week that that the club were going to do no more outgoings, which is interesting because Nat Phillips would be included in that, but it seems that he might still go. He actually might still go. Rumour has it Enzo was going to start. Sorry, I read that one, didn't I? Get those likes up, people. Do smash the likes if you're enjoying the stream. I know the Chelsea game's on, so it's going to be less busy, but keep wrapping those comments in as well because it keeps the stream active. That's be mad. That would be mad. But why do people think it's going to be anyone other than Matip? I mean, it's a good point. I suppose. We'll touch on a few Salah things as well, because I know that you guys will probably be eager for updates, and you guys know I've been a lot more sceptical on the Salah news than anyone else. Seems to be 1-0 still to Chelsea too, so nothing to update on that front for anyone who's trying to keep up with the game. Oh no, the face plant. Chat, are you seeing these Caicedo memes on Twitter? Caicedo face planted at the start of the game and it's already on Twitter. Get on there. Wait there, let me get rid of the comments so you can see it. I don't want to play it too much, but look at that face plant chat right there. Oh, I love this game. It's fucking boss. Ivan Toney to Arsenal for 80 mil. Fuck off. He ain't going for 80 mil. And conspiracy theory, Mo Salah won't play Champions League football again with Liverpool, in my opinion. Oh, chat, do you think that's a shout? I reckon that's a fucking shout, you know. I reckon that's a shout. Because he could go in 12 months. Do you think Salah... Yeah, chat WRL, yes or no? Do you think Salah's played his last Champions League game for Liverpool? Do you think that's possible? Because that all he needs to do is leave to Saudi next summer. Now, anyway, on the updates of Saudi, yeah, where's my man Josh? He'll have all the shit that's been getting updated on his thing. Yeah, this kid, he'll have it. Go follow this kid, chat. He's decent. Romano. Jurgen Klopp on Mo Salah, blah, 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 blah. Don't want Jurgen Klopp quotes. Yeah, there was proper news. The Saudis aren't going anywhere. They will keep coming back. Salah, for Salah next summer, the deal might just make sense for all parties, but selling him now is unthinkable. There's also other reports as well of Salah not turning down the deal. Chat, what did I say 12 hours ago? Do you know 12 hours ago when I said Salah's not turning down the deal? Everyone's only just noticed that today. Everyone noticed today, like, oh, wait there, he actually hasn't turned it down. And that definitively means he's interested. Whether it's now or in 12 months, it's still one thing to be worried about. It's still something to be concerned with. So I think it's interesting with Mohamed Salah. Yeah, Mohamed Salah's, I don't even know. I think he will be gone in the next 12 months. Don't say that. That's just not cool to think about. I'm not here to make you think of cool things. I'm not here to make you think of things that you want to hear. I'm here to be honest about the potential outcomes here. And the potential outcome is that Salah could go, mate. You know what I mean? Like, I know we all love Salah and he's boss. But at the same time, I just don't think he's ready for the right here. He's right here right now. But I don't think that he's going to stay beyond next year. I don't. But I also think people are overreacting about how much we're going to miss him if he goes. Like, we all thought the same with Coutinho. Like, oh, no, when Coutinho goes, we can't replace him. We can't replace Coutinho. But we did. We replaced him. We've replaced him fine, by the way. We'll replace Salah. Like, Salah's goals will be found somewhere else in the squad. We've got a great attack. But that doesn't mean I'd sell him. But if we get 120 million or 100 million, I probably... Like, it gets to a point where you have to replace him, even if you don't get a replacement. Like, because think about it, chat. We're not the businessmen, you know what I mean? Like, that's what they're going to do. In their eyes, that's what they want. We think of the ideal world where it's like, no, but if we're not going to replace him, then that 100 million's useless. But to them, it's not. Chelsea is still 1-0, in case anyone is wondering. Little update there from Melina. Big up to you. Big up to everyone as well who supports the stream. Speaking of supporting the stream, I did that earlier. I was like, big up for the super chats. No one super chatted, and then John super chatted. By the way, thank you to everyone who super chats. Really appreciate it. And I'm just saying thank you because you support the stream that way. So I feel like it'd be obnoxious to not even say thank you every once in a while to let you know how much you support the channel. But big up to John. They wasted our position of strength when we're winning, and now we're mugs. Top 7 now, question mark. We have known what we need for years. FSG and Klopp out. At least you're being consistent. John A saying, listen, both of them are at fault. Fuck the pair of them. They can both go. I don't agree with that, but I don't agree Klopp part, but I understand where he's coming from. I think at least he's saying everyone's a fuck up, and that's fair. And the standards have decreased, and the fact that Klopp's coming out and talking about Kwanzaa, that's a problem. That's a problem. I'm not saying Klopp out, but that is a problem, chat. I'm not even trying to be negative, and I'd be more than happy to get some FSG in it on the channel who's really saying, like, no, Klopp's making all the right decisions, and the club's making all the right decisions. So, yeah, but at least John's... Sorry, Joe. I've been calling him John the whole time. I'm blind. Sorry, Joe. Sorry about that, mate. It's me calling you John. Joe, you bang on, mate. You bang on 100%. I don't think we will go and get the strength in the positions. The most I see is one more midfielder. That's the most I see. Anything else is just... That'll be a shock. Salah should be used like a bar of soap until it's over. Age doesn't matter. No. Disagree with that fundamentally. Imagine if we had that energy with Hendo. And I understand Salah's different, but Salah, chat WRL, like, if Salah's not scoring, he isn't playing that well, is he? He doesn't play that well no more if he's not scoring or assisting. He does his job, but I do think the goals can easily be replaced. I do. Not by one player. I don't think Salah goes, one winger comes in and replaces the goals. I don't think it goes like that. But I think, Gakpo gets a few more goals. Nunez gets a few more goals. I think overall it could help the team. It helps us move on. It helps us move forward. I don't think there's much benefit of keeping Salah. I think it makes no sense to keep a 31-year-old if you're going to get offered 120 million for a player who you bought for 40 million, even if he gets loads of goals. You know, from a business standpoint, it makes no sense. And that's why I try and be balanced, is that business makes sense as well. And also, if we sold Salah, that's where I'd be confident on seeing a bit more of a rebuild, because when we sold Suarez, we saw a rebuild. When we sold Coutinho, we saw a rebuild. And the same if we sold Salah. I think we will. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I've been proven wrong before. I'm not saying that as fact. Hamez, who could replace Salah at right wing? Would you replace him with Jota? No, fuck that. Fuck every part of that. And fuck replacing him with Diaz as well, because Diaz just wouldn't work at right wing. I'd probably say it'd have to be like a quick outlet, like someone like Chiesa or whatever. I know Chiesa's injury prone to a degree, but someone like that type of profile. Someone who's direct and going to offer stuff. Maybe Benzoka in a couple of years could be ready, but right now I think it'd be too soon. So yeah, it definitely is getting dicey. The more the days go by, the more that Saudi linger in the background. I mean, listen, Salah is not for sale, but he's not for sale if they offer 70, 80 million. Watch until they friggin' offer 120 million. Let's see if he's not for sale. Yeah, this is interesting. You guys always laugh about this dude as well. What's his name? Indicator News. I don't know. Don't take this serious because I think he's a banter page. But exclusive, reliable source from Crystal Palace is stating that Cheikh Doucouré, as in the last few hours, has asked to leave. The player is keen to join Liverpool. He is scared his dream move won't happen due to the unrealistic transfer value set by Crystal Palace. Who's the source? Is it barbecue sauce or is there someone proper behind this? You know what I mean? Indy taking the piss. Is he taking the piss? He's defo taking the piss. Boneless banquet, please, lads. We need him. Liverpool should push and sign him. So I take that with a huge pinch of salt without the chat talk about him. Yeah. Is he just chatting shit? What about Benzoka? Do you know what, mate? It wouldn't be the worst Salah replacement, but yeah, I think it'd be too soon to go with Benzoka there. I absolutely do. If Jurgen Klopp thinks that Liverpool are set defensively, then it is time to admit that FSG are not the only issue with the club. I like that wording. He's saying not the only issue. People seem to think that Klopp is being the only issue right now, which is far from the truth, you know what I mean? But Klopp definitely needs to do things better. What do you think of Mbeumo? He is 24. He's boss. He's a great player. I think he can walk into a team like Spurs and do a job, or, you know, a top 6 team. I think he could go to friggin' Newcastle and do great. You know what I mean? I think Mbeumo's a good player. Fantastic in the Championship. 300 people in the stream, by the way. Big up to everyone, and big up to everyone who super chats as well. Massive shout out to you all, mate. Can't do it without you. I need to switch between those two screens when I'm getting big comments up as well. 150 mil, Salah can leave. Salah was our future. The goals can be spread out, unlike where only Mane and Salah got the goals. Facts. More people can get goals, and that was the purpose of getting attacking midfielders. You know what I'm saying? Big up to Rishi for their super chat. He says, what do you think of him? Sorry, I read that one. I thought that was a comment for some reason that I read out. Big up for the super chats. Panaskaus, he says, when Salah goes, I think we will see the team play more to Nunez' strengths. Maybe, but I think we already play to his strengths. I do, you know. I'm not trying to get into the Nunez debate with you, but I think the system's worked for Nunez before. It's just not working right now. Don't like Diaz, Nunez, and Gakpo can carry the torch on their own. Wait there. Don't think that Diaz, Nunez, and Gakpo can carry the torch on their own for goals. The only way our legendary front three did, we will need to change. We will need to change the play style dramatically. Not necessarily. We can still get goals even without it. Salah isn't key to the link-up play. Gakpo is key to the link-up play. And he's the one, when Gakpo plays false 9, that's when we score more goals. So I think the key really is to play Gakpo as much as possible in false 9. I think he can be our most important player if we play him in that role correctly. Chat WRL. Josh says, how's it going, brother? What have I missed? We've touched on centre-back news. We've touched on Jurgen Klopp coming out and praising Kwanzaa, suggesting maybe that's going to be number 5 out of the options. And that means we probably won't get a new centre-back. We've gone through some Kone and Gravenberch news, and we touched on Salah too. And now, obviously, we're touching on just a couple of opinions on Twitter, to be honest. It's just kind of one of those chill streams. James, what do you want? Where do you want me to send the info? John O'Brien, what info? What info? If you're talking about, like, some, like, news or whatever, send me it on Twitter. Send me it on Twitter. I won't get it up on the screen. I'll get it up on my phone if you want. But I don't know what you want me to send you. I don't know what info you're sending. I feel the same. Could be much more balanced with Salah gone. This is what I'm saying. It's not the end of the world. And I wouldn't want Salah to go. But if we get offered 110 million for him, it really is something to consider. Like, no doubt, it's something to consider. Chat, would you at least consider it to some degree? Would you at least consider that? Because I think that's one worth considering. I'm not going to lie. If we don't sign anyone else, I'm writing off the season and not caring anymore. No reason to raise the blood pressure. You know what, Mike? I hear what you're saying. I can't do that. It's like Liverpool's like that girlfriend. Like, how are they doing? You know what I mean? You're just constantly refreshing, waiting for the reply. That's what I'm doing with these updates at the moment. I'm like, where's that transfer? Or where's that thing that can make us look forward to it? Where's Fabrizio Romano saying, like, Liverpool in direct talks with this player? You know what I mean? It's just, it's not happening. Does not seem to be happening. Big up to Edrin as well, who's in the chat. I saw we had a bid rejected by Bayern for Gravenberch. I haven't seen that, not by no credible sources, but that would be interesting. Chelsea are going to lose to Luton. You heard it here first. Well, it's going all right for them so far. They're winning the game. Borussia Mönchengladbach expecting 40 million. Done a video on this earlier from Liverpool sources. George Preachmub. Who's that? Is he reliable? I don't even know who that gentleman is. But yes, I talked about that earlier. That Christian Falk came out and talked about it too. Talking about that they could be expecting 40 million, which is interesting because, again, I always reiterate, like, Skamadka will be negotiating with his son. I'd love to know how that works. You know what I mean? I'd love to know how that works. And if he can get any millions off that 40 mil, see if he can get a little bargain. End his 3-month spell at Liverpool on a high. Salah is going to go soon. So getting 100 million would be sick. Plus, maybe we could do something mad and go for Saka with the money. Oh, no, Saka wouldn't be wanting to join us anytime soon. I doubt it. He's proper Arsenal star boy. Arsenal wouldn't sell him to us either. We'd have to pay like 200 million to even make them think about it, and we know we're not going to do that. So nah, and I don't know. I wouldn't mind Saka though. Saka would be quality. I definitely wouldn't turn him down. Chelsea buying Nunez. I've saw things of this. I don't think it's one to listen to, chat. I don't think you need to take any concern about this. I'll have a little look for you. I'll see if we can find anything regarding the news. Let me see. Nunez, Chelsea, because there was reports on it, I suppose, but not ones to take seriously. Darwin Nunez, that's just talking about his season so far. Why am I seeing Chelsea fans welcoming Darwin Nunez? Redmen TV's tweet. Nah, because there was tweets on it. I'm just trying to find one. Nunez to Chelsea. There was things sparking yesterday about it all, but again, as you can see, it's mainly just turned into a meme instead of picking up any weight. I don't think anybody sits there and says that he's going to go to Chelsea at all. Chelsea are getting Darwin Nunez. Yeah, so I'm not finding any sources here, but I'm certainly seeing that it caught the rounds for some reason. And I don't know why it caught the rounds, because I don't think it's true at all. I definitely don't think it's true. Nunez isn't going to Chelsea. Facts, I don't think he's going to go to Chelsea. I think we're stuck with him. For the Nunez sexuals, don't you worry. We're stuck with Nunez. We're fine. Watch the Kone deal not happen because Jorge Skamadka won't let his son borrow his mansion in Ibiza. That's a good one, that. Paniscal Sobo will move up to right wing to assist Nunez. He could do a job at right wing, but I think you're massively limiting a big part of his game, those long shots, if you play him there. Because he's not cutting inside and he'll have less opportunities to do that smack across the face of goal, which is one of his specialties. So, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, but I wouldn't want Szoboszlai as right winger. I'd rather get someone who's made for that role, someone who's a bit more explosive. For instance, like Jeremy Doku, who's just went to City. I think he'd be quality. James, why does Nunez get more stick than Richarlison and Martial? I don't think that's true. Richarlison was maybe the most bantered players by fans and Premier League players. Do you remember that clip of like Antonio and friggin' Callum Wilson? And Martial's just been shit for a long time, so no one thinks it's worth bantering him no more. Shit, I've just clocked. That could be copyrighted content that I've just been showing there. For fuck's sake, mate. For fuck's sake. So yeah, I don't think they do get more stick than him. I think that Darwin gets his own stick. Love you, James. Even bad news or good news when you speak about it. Well, it's just about breaking it down, Melissa. It just depends how you look at it. If you expected this from the club, you're not going to be too upset. And maybe in some ways the club could exceed our expectations. They could get a centre back or a centre mid. But that's why we're here to talk about it. Because whether we're first, whether we're 10th, or whether we're in the Championship, I'm going to be here talking about Liverpool. Best fucking believe. James, why does Nunez? I've just read that one. My bad. Should Nunez start because he might get better? No. And I don't think he does get better. But that's my preference. You might think he does get better. I don't see a world where he does. If he was better at finishing, he'd be better at finishing by now. The guy's 24, you know what I mean, or 23. So, yeah, I think there's definitely room for improvement. Opinions on us signing 2 academy prospects, at least we're investing in. Yeah, you know what? That's true. I think we've got better on the youth academy front. And I think we can see great, prosperous results from the academy in years' time. But I think the reason why we don't get as excited for the building of the academy is because we haven't even got the first team locked down. So I think that's the priority for most fans, you know what I mean? And should be. James, the lack of transfer strategy seems to take a mental toll. How do you deal with it? It does, but then you realise, like, okay, we're probably not going to sign a lot of these players. But what are the club doing? Because now if you see what the club are doing, you can see what PR they're wanting to get out there. You can see what messages and things they're trying to suggest. You can try and work out, is it a distraction? Is it not a distraction? And because I get asked about these rumours every single day, I now get to them first, so then I can clarify the rumours to you, whether to listen to them or not listen to them. So, for instance, I'll sit there and claim, in my opinion, I think we are looking for one more midfielder. I do. But can I completely dispute the possibility that it's just PR? No, but by likely chances, I actually do think we want one more midfielder. I just don't believe it's a number 6. I think it's someone who, as we've mentioned a few times throughout the stream, bit more versatile, can play in multiple positions, can offer the offensive and the defensive aspect, because we want to be an on-the-ball offensive team. So I do think we're looking for one more. Doesn't mean we'll get one more, as the reports haven't claimed that. The reports are claiming that we're looking at one more. So that means a completely different thing to actually getting it over the line. And then it's just about getting down to it on videos with you. And it gives me a chance to talk to you all the time, to be honest. I'm going to have to try and find a way to keep up these streams throughout the season, which I will do. It'll be fine. We'll find a way for content. Why do you have an agenda against Nunez, bro? It's not an agenda. It's an opinion, cookie. So cookie. No, it's an opinion. So it's not that I'm right and you're wrong. I just don't think Nunez is good. The same way you might not think Adrian's not good. And you know, I'm not comparing Nunez to Adrian. The point is that there'll be players you don't like, and there's players I don't like. Some players like some fans like Sancho. Some fans don't like Sancho. Some fans love Nunez. Some fans don't like Nunez. I don't think Nunez is that good. And if you can appreciate anything from me, cookie, you can know that it's not an agenda. I didn't think Nunez was good prior to him joining Liverpool. So it's not an agenda. It's just an opinion I had. Even when I watched them against us, I thought we played perfect football for Nunez to do well in that game. And based off of my logic and my way of thinking, I listen to people like Arsene Wenger, experts of the sport, who sit there and say technical ability and finishing doesn't really get too much better after the age of 16. I agree with this. I think systematically you can find things or places in the squad for people like Salah. Technically inept, but he can do a job systematically and you can bring out the best in him. Nunez same, but Nunez isn't as good as Salah in my opinion, and I don't think he ever will be. It's an opinion. It's not something that I'm trying to tell you to think of as fact. I've also said that he's a very, very good bench option. I don't think he's better than Origi, but he's a good bench option. So are we going to sign Doucouré or not? Because if we're not prepared for another season out of top 4 and in Europa League, Klopp might leave too. He might leave, but he might not. You know what I mean? Klopp just seems to be happy with just being here at the moment. So I don't think we're going to have to worry about Klopp going until the end of his contract. Genuine question. I know you have depth issues at the moment, but how is Thiago still on your books? Because he's class, and at the same time, you know, no significant offers have came in. Thiago has refused to go to Saudi, and he wants to play at the club, and he's still our best midfielder on paper. You know, Szoboszlai, I think he will be that, but I think overall, yeah, people have this conception that Klopp's a real flop. His availability's been one to be questioned, but when he plays, he's one of our best players. So, to answer your question, that's why you don't sell your best players. You know what I mean? He hasn't lived up to the price tag. Who are we talking about here? Nunez? That's right. Not even close. We're not getting top 4 without a good CDM. Maybe. James, he was a fucking beast against us. Even Van Dijk said he was a handful. Again, let's reanalyze what I said. I said he was good in that game. I said he was very good in that game. Why was he good? because he kept getting in behind, and he's a quick motherfucker. That's tough. And what do Liverpool specialise in? Playing a high line, which adheres to someone who runs in behind. So I never said he weren't good against us. I thought he was boss against us, but there's a reason why he's not doing that every game in the Premier League, and it's because not every team play with a high line. It's a very simple premise. Doesn't matter if he done well against us. Minamino done well against us, and he weren't good enough to start. You know? Do you hear what I'm saying? Newcastle to win the league isn't even a crazy shout, to be honest. I think it is a crazy shout. I don't think it's completely out of this world, but I do think it's a crazy shout. I think that's a brave shout. If you were willing to put money on that, I think that's a brave decision. Honestly, Hortensia, he says, I don't think Isaac is all that. He never scored more than 15 goals in his career. And Henry, Prem Goat, Henri, the Prem Goat, said Darwin will come good when he gets more playing time and trust. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, and maybe he's right. Now let's define good. Will come good. What's good? That means he's been bad now. So if he's will come good, that means he's not being good now. So now he needs to come good. Okay, then. And when he reached the standards of Thierry Henry's reference of good, well, how good is it? Is it good enough to be 15 goals? Because he's already got that. Is it good enough to be 20 goals? Is it good enough to be 30 goals? Is it good enough to improve the all-round team? Is it good enough to win Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues? Which, by the way, the reason why I didn't want him is because I didn't think he was letting you know my standard of good. I think he's good for a top 4 team. I think he's good for the team competing for Europa League. So right now he's good for us. But it's ironic that we're a Europa League team and he's still our third choice. It's only because we've got good attackers and we lack in the other areas. So now we need to analyse Thierry Henry's standard of good. He never said world class. He never said anything else, but of good. And then when we analyse that standard, and let's say the standard is where he's just scoring goals in the Premier League, but he might not improve the all-round team. Well, that's one way of looking at it, that Darwin Nunez is good. So, yeah, he might have said that, but just because he's a legend and he said it doesn't mean that he's going to be good. Friggin' Sir Alex Ferguson thought Phil Jones was going to be the greatest centre-back that England has ever seen. And David Moyes was going to be a good enough successor. Think about it. Who's got better judgment than a manager like Sir Alex Ferguson to identify managerial talent? It doesn't mean just because Henry was a good striker means he's right and I'm wrong. It's all objective. It's all opinionated. And anyone who was claiming Haaland comparisons, they're looking really dumb. And anyone who's like me was looking a little bit more sensible. You know, I always said he could score 15 to 20 goals. Just don't think he's that good. A lot of people share that opinion now. But it doesn't mean I'm right. Why Liverpool not like Ajax? There are 2 types of clubs. One of them identifies many talent for a cheap price, and other type is that spends money. Liverpool are following neither of them. I hear what you're saying. We could definitely do better at the scouting department. Will you at least credit Nunez for showing passion and desire what is required to be an LFC player? Yeah. I've never said that he doesn't. Never said that he doesn't. I've always said that he's favoured by the fans. He's a superstar. He is a superstar. I chant Nunez the loudest when he comes on. I go, Nunez. The veins are popping out my fucking neck, mate. Don't think that I don't support Nunez just because I'm not a fan of his playing style. I weren't a fan of Lucas Leiva, but I back him on the pitch when he played for us. I weren't a fan of Martin Skrtel at times, but I back his fucking skinhead on the pitch. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to be mad about. It's nothing to thingy. People are just heavily defensive for Nunez with very little substance. It's quite creepy how defensive people are when it comes to defending him. Do you get what I'm saying? Are you comparing Nunez with Henry? I never compared him at all. I never compared him with Henry. Nunez had a better pre-season than Salah, so you never know. Okay, if we're going to judge the premise of pre-seasons, well, Jota has just as much of a right to start as Nunez does, and Jota's starting, so I think Jota should keep starting if we're going to use the premise of pre-season. Nunez's chance was the first 6 months of last season, and if he was good enough, he would have took that chance, and he didn't. And it weren't because of the system. That's a lie. He got chances, he just missed them. That was the problem. I'm sure Manchester United isn't winning this Premier, same for Liverpool. I agree, Melina. I think both of us are going to fall massively short. Queen Nadra, big up to you. Bloody hell, we are still back to the same circus again. Injuries, lack of squad depth. Newcastle will destroy us. I don't know if they will. I think we'll do better than you think, Queen Nadra, just to give you a little bit of confidence. But I understand your concern for the overall season. I don't think we'll be competing for league titles. Shout out to Shadia Hamez. I think the multifunctional midfield that the Liverpool want to see in Kona. He can play 6 and 8 properly, and I can see him playing in the 10 too. He's the best option. He can play in all of them. He can play all of them really well. I love Kone. I want him. I question the injury record. Otherwise, he's boss. But you're going to get... Right, honestly, Hortensia, let me read this proper. But you're going to get me... Wait there. You're going to get me to differ from Klopp. Good, and Klopp even said it. The reason he isn't playing because he can't defend from the front. And at the end of the day, we both want Darwin to become a star. But I don't think he's going to come out and say that Darwin's not playing because he's shit at finishing. And I don't think he's going to come out and say, well, Darwin's not playing because Gakpo's over Klopp smart. You might think that he doesn't defend enough. I think Darwin puts in a shift defensively. I just don't think he makes us better. I don't think he's better than Gakpo, and I don't think he's better than Jota. And I don't think he's favoured as a striker. I think he's third choice as a striker, and I think he's second or third choice as a left winger. So it's a bit of a Fabio Carvalho situation. It's like the club got me this player. I don't know why the fuck they got me this player because I don't know how to use him. And that's why Nunez is now being used as a substitute, which is what's leading to these rumours of him possibly leaving the club. But I wouldn't mind to see Nunez go. I wouldn't lose no sleep. How do you rate Newcastle midfield to ours? Watch my preview earlier. You'll get a full analysis on that game. After this video, go and check it out. James, I really think Kanate is a bigger blow than we think. Remember a certain Isaac. That's right. I think that's a big problem. And hopefully it won't cause us too much detriment. But as we know, with this team, you never know, do you? It takes at least the season for the player to truly get comfortable and play to their strengths. Maybe you're right. I don't think he's ever shown a world-class striker level, even when he was at Benfica. I just thought he was in a shit league. That adhere to him. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. Nunez has never looked world-class to me, which is the difference between me and some of you guys. And sometimes you get people who like to defend him, and then you get people like me who just doesn't see it. And I think that's just all it is. Maybe it's a lack of sight. Nunez is like you, Hamez. He is so likable. He has the X factor. He will shine this season like you are doing. I suppose you're right, because I also do miss the mark a lot of the time. I'll make jokes that aren't that funny, and I'll try and make videos that don't bang. So I miss a lot, but I also work hard. You know what I mean? So I understand what you're saying. Yeah, no, Nunez is great. He's a fan favourite. He's just not a league winner for me. That's all. Is it realistic, says Noah? Is it realistic that we get a defender and a midfielder? No, I don't think we'll get a defender. Not with all this Kwanzaa talk. Not a chance. King of Games, give Nunez to Arsenal last season. They win the league. And what does that say? No, they wouldn't. Gabriel Jesus is better than Nunez. Darwin's movement is not as good as Cody's. Chases about like a headless chicken sometimes. I agree. He scores some big goals, though. He can be a clutch goal scorer. The goal against Real Madrid, he scored against Man United as well. So he scored in big games. He's already certified as like an option, just not a starter. Is it realistic? Sorry, I've read that one. So why haven't we signed a central defender? We all knew about Kanate getting injured with a few with a few matches into the season. I know, but it's the club's incompetence. You could predict this from a mile away. They done this 2 seasons ago and they don't care. And then they'll start saying Billy Cometio is the next guy, or they'll say Kwanzaa's the next dude. James, you seem very disappointed with the LFC situation. Hopefully you're mentally sound. Shiranath, I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm talking about football. It's sad. But yeah, it is a bit dejecting knowing that, you're going into a season like hoping for top 4, opposed to a title challenge or something like that. I think a title challenge would be very fun. And I don't think we're going to get in one this season. So it's a shame. James Nunez got the Liverpool DNA and most LFC fans rate him. I agree. But just because the majority rate him doesn't mean he's good. There's been a lot of people that the fans have rated that didn't end up being good. You know what I mean? So I just think even though we rate him, it doesn't mean it's going to work out. And just because what do you mean by Liverpool DNA? Is it just because he's passionate? Because there's loads of players who go out there and scream. You know what I'm saying? And there's loads of players who will work hard for the team. And Nunez can be... If Nunez works, it works really well. But I don't see it working. That's all. And no amount of passion or anything like that gives him any technical ability. So that's my only issue with that one, sir. With Kanate being injured, if you could either get a DM or a centre-back, which one? I would choose a DM. I'd choose a DM over a centre-back. But both would be needed. I think that the Nunez has so much fans in his sharp looking face and aesthetic body. Crazy how people rate him with this not footballing. Exactly, he's got everything. He's got the style, he's got the hair, he's got the charisma. This is what people lean towards. He comes on, he runs around, and he's got good stats from previous clubs. So people just become sort of idolized by that opposed to the ability. I've always questioned the ability. Nunez is good enough because if he scores, because he scores if confident and got passion and desire. See, so I'm just seeing more passion and desire merchants, which is fine. But I don't hold that as high credibility. I would have passion and desire. It doesn't mean I'd be good at footy. Darwin Nunez is more of a target player to hold up the ball. He's terrible with his back to goal. This is a myth. He's terrible with his back to goal, Darwin Nunez. I don't think he looks good in that position. I feel very uncomfortable when he's in that position, actually. To hold up the ball on the pitch, we are under pressure, which makes him an option. Yeah, I suppose. There's no way it doesn't work, just overall. I defend him because people immediately wrote him off as a flop. That's why if Suarez wanted Barca to get him there must be something about Darwin. Wait there, I defend him. And if Suarez wanted Barca to get him, I don't know. Again, I'm not going to let a player be my reference for what my eyes see, you know what I mean? My eyes don't... I rate Klopp's opinion sometimes, and sometimes I don't. I rate the club's opinion sometimes I don't. I'm sure I'll be the same with Suarez, and I'm sure I'll be the same with Thierry Henry. And I'm sure they believe you can get a good striker out of Nunez. I don't think Liverpool in this system gets a good striker out of this Darwin Nunez. I just don't see it. But maybe you guys are right. I like talking to you about Nunez. Cookie saying Nunez is a special talent. I don't think he's showing any. I think he showed one thing. Wait there, let me get that up. Sam, leave my trim alone. Why is it not letting me get that comment up? Panascaus, I'll have to read it a different way. Get Nunez in the box and get him to stop defending and play the ball into him. Yeah, now it's loaded up. But yeah, there's a big, massive thing going off outside there. Will bang loads in. He's had the most chances, even above Haaland. Exactly. He's had the most chances. Chat, have you not just heard that? He's had more challenge. Wait there. He's had more chances than Haaland, and he scored nowhere near the goals. Is that true? That can't be true, surely. That actually can't be true. That can't be true. He couldn't have had the most chances, because if he's had the most chances, that makes him sound worse. It really does. Think about it, chat. Get Nunez in the box and get him to stop defending. Is that facts? Is that actually facts? That's made him worse. How can he have the most chances and not even score nowhere near? And people say it's a systematic problem, but he's getting chances. Am I reading something wrong? Terry, I agree. I'm not going to lie. Highest in Europe. So Nunez had the highest chances in Europe. What the fuck? That can't be true. In all those games, he played so many less games and got so many more chances. Like, I know we got a lot of chances, but seriously? Nah, that's mad. We act like 15 goals in your first season for a handicap midfield. He played winger, striker. He scored a lot of important goals. If a player we liked had stats, we'd be buzzing. Yeah, but he's not good enough to be the main striker is the point, though. You know what I mean? Am I frozen? It's saying I'm frozen. I think it must be going... I don't even know why I'm frozen. Wait there. Let me go out and back in, chat. One. Am I back? Can you see me? Can you see me? Can you see me? Did you see KSI chatting? He's the only one who can see John Cena. Funny guy, fam. Funny fucker. Wait there, that's not what I wanted. Am I back? Am I all good now? Amazing. I can cook you on Nunez even more. I heard he had a third or fourth highest in Europe. That is insane, Rishi. That is insane. And you are saying that he never got chances. Are you mad? 50. So if he's elite, if he's an elite striker and he got 15 goals and he got the highest chances in Europe, do you understand why the math isn't mathing? Do you understand why I'm struggling? What the fuck? Do you hear that rain? It's trying to break into my house right there. Fuck me. Fuck me sideways and call me Stephen. I could go for a swim out there. James have been playing. James, he's been played out of position, told to defend. That's not his game. Let's go back to what I've just said. Has he or has he not had the most chances? Didn't you say that, Paniscos? What does it matter where he plays if he's getting what a striker needs? If he's getting what a striker needs, which is goals, the same way that a bird shooter needs birds to shoot, isn't it meaning that the bird shooter's just a bit bad if he's constantly missing the birds? Don't you think that's a thing? I'm not trying to shit on Nunez, but these points can be refuted very easily. It's why I can't align with, like, because the problem is you guys press me when I say I don't rate Nunez. I say I don't rate him. You're fine to rate him. And then you press me on it. And then I'll respond. And you'll keep pressing me on it like as if he'll change my mind. You've let me know he's had the fourth most chances in Europe. Apparently it's a stylistic system problem. When it's not, it's his finishing. And then people will say, well, he can't speak fucking English. And then I'll say, well, okay then. So you're telling me if he could say hello opposed to hola, that would now translate to good finishing? That makes no goddamn sense. Speaking words doesn't speak to good finishing. So if he's getting the chances, then what's the problem? You know what I mean? We have got an issue there, chat. There's inconsistencies in your arguments. Would you gamble on Kone? Yes, I'd gamble on Kone rather than nothing. No risk, no reward. Watch your front three against Newcastle. Go and watch the preview. It's up from earlier, so you can go and check that out. I've done a full lineup prediction. Love the bird analogy. You're on that, though. You're there like... And the bird just flew away and gone, fuck off, Tony. See you in a bit, lads. No one cares now. You're a bad bird shooter. You don't miss the birds with that jawline. What can I say, my friend? Big up to the Tower Eclipse, yeah? He knows beauty when he sees it. And that's all. That's the only reason why I use rate Nunez is because he's a sexy bastard. And he is. He's a gorgeous man. Pause. But he is. He really is. He's proper astonishing. He's aesthetically pleasing. But at the same time, chat, he's just a bit shit. You know what I mean? Lad, I'm even in the Swan. It's mental out here. What the fuck, bro? What's going on out there? I was going to go to the shop in a minute. Are you mad? I'm getting a taxi 2 minutes around the corner. You think that I'm doing that? You're wild. You're wild. Wild to me. Hamez, I have the stats if you want. I'll send you an official pick of the Premier League stats. Haaland has the most chances, missed 28. Rashford 22, third is Mo Salah, and Nunez with 20. Fair play. So he's fourth in the league. Okay, fair dues. Fair fucking dues, mate. Fair fucking dues. I think what James means is even without a functional midfield and a strong defence, you look at certain attributes of a forward, and Nunez hasn't shown the capabilities of a top player. Thank you, Shiranath. That's all I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's a great summary for the fact that you only have a certain amount of characters in a YouTube comment. That's exactly what I'm saying, chat. I'm not saying... Get him in the best 11 in the world. He'll score goals. I still don't think he's a good striker. Like, he can score goals. He's a good striker. I don't think he's an elite striker. I think you can find 20, 30, 40 people better than Nunez out there over the years. Not now, you fucks. I'm not being too extreme. But over the years, 100 billion%. That's a great way to sum it up from Shiranath. Can't trust these owners, even if we sold Salah for 150 mil because to Saudi. Can't guarantee that these owners will replace like that. That's right. That is definitely right. Can you do Paddy Pimlet impression? Paddy Pimlet's done an impression of me actually at one point. I need to see if I can find it. Paddy. If buts maybe because he copied me. So yeah, right there. He done like my thing. Media, would it be media? Would it Paddy? Let me see if I put Paddy Pimlet. Absolutes, maybe that'll pop up. We don't do it, but so maybe we do absolutes. He said it, but wait there. I might need to go on YouTube to find it actually. Let me go on YouTube dead quick. Because you'll laugh at this, because Paddy, after his debut in the UFC, came out and was like, don't do if buts or maybes, lad, do absolutes. Yeah, look, it's popped up without even me having to type in the full thing. Yeah, this is it. This was quality. Wait there, where's the noise?
On top of the world. Said first round finish, lad. I don't chat shit, lad. I'll tell it how it is. We don't do if buts or maybes, lad. We do absolutes.
Isn't that sick, chat? Isn't that sick? That he done that after his debut as well, to be fair. So I was buzzing with that. Molly won that night as well, and she won by insane fashion. So So there you go. There's how we'd sound. All I've seen from Nunez is blistering pace, erratic touch, rushed finishing, doesn't time the runs. I could go on and on. Oh, it's because he can't speak English, my ass. That's my problem. Like, ours and on the ball ability, a language problem. That's where I don't see it. Wow, Caicedo is shocking. Wait, there is Caicedo doing shit. Yeah. He's sound though. He's got the bag. That's why I questioned him at Liverpool, you know. Go and watch my videos. I never said I wouldn't tuck him. That'd be being disingenuous, but I do think that genuinely because of his things, like because of his mentality and the fact he's mentioned money so many times, I questioned it. Can he maintain the level? Hamez, I have to question Klopp for buying Minamino that season. Same. Yeah, that was a weird signing. Rather than buying Haaland, I mean, what even made him make that decision? It was the game against us in the Champions League. He looked at Minamino like he was the Japanese Messi. It looked like he nutted in his pants. Your face is so funny in that thumbnail. Bro, I was on crack. Do you know what? Let me see how many views that video's on. I haven't saw that video for ages, mate. I only see it on TikTok and that. It's fun to go down memory lane. I used to, like, for the first 2 years that the video was big, I was an egomaniac off it, lad. I would always go on the video and see what they're saying. I think I need to be careful though, because I might get copyrighted here. Imagine me getting copyrighted for making this clip, or for playing it. I'll be like, you little rats. This is Redmen TV's most popular video as well, I believe. It was the last time I checked. Right, let me get that.
To that game, Liverpool were amazing.
I don't care about watching it. What are these comments saying? I don't even watch football, and this guy has convinced me Mane is the best player in the world. Why is he saying I've disliked it? I didn't mean that. In it, chat, I could sell water to a fish now. Couldn't I sell water to a fish? Reasons why this video was legendary. 0% if, 0% buts, 0% maybes, 100% absolutes. Jeez, get on that. Get on that. This man had 3 iconic quotes in a row. It is actually fact, you know. Like, I get people all the time going like, if buts maybes, or they'll say Mane was the best player in the world, or if your hands have balls, like, it's always a different line. It's whatever. It's the pick of the choice, really. Nah, this video is actually goated though, mate. This video's goated. It's been so long since I've even looked through these comments. Even the way this video, like, comments still popping up now. How many views is it on? I didn't even check. 4.7 million. Jeez. Let me go on videos. Can I check the most popular? Is it still the most popular? Jeez, that's a flex right there. Mohamed Salah's number 2. I'm number 1. Bro, is that hat? Cookie, are you talking to me? Is that hat? What do you mean, is that hat? Are you talking about my hat? Hamez, do you think players who play for Brighton, it's funny the way my face just disappears. Hamez, do you think our players who play for Brighton, Newcastle, Villa, etc. look world class? Some of them do. You know what I mean? But then what do they make a big move? Blah, 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 blah. Ends up flopping, and the truth is they displayed. I don't know. I think some of them are hits, some of them are misses. It's like this in the Premier League now. But chat, I think I am going to end the stream there. Thank you for tuning in. I want to shout out to Rishi again. No, I read that one out. But Rishi sent 2 super chats. Big up to you, say. Big up to Queen Nadra, who's always supporting. Big up to Joey, who's also supporting. Joe Allen. Fucking Joe Allen joined the stream. But no, smash a like if you enjoy the streams. It always helps. Please do smash that button. Just if you want to see more. Helps out. Don't have to if you don't want to, though. I understand. But yeah, man. Otherwise, leave a comment after this video as well. Gets up more in the algorithm. And I'll see you beautiful people in a bizzle. Love you all. JP.